Hey guys, this is Barry with the Deal Driven app, and I'm super excited that you chose our app. Simply the best real estate app out there. Because you decided to get the app, we wanted to make sure that you would have a great experience using it. That's why we came up with this onboarding video. In this video, I'm going to show you where to start, and I'm going to demonstrate some of the features that the app has to offer. So, what I want you to do is I want you to pay close attention, take some notes, because at the end of the video, there's going to be a Q&A session. So, let's get started with the Deal Driven app. All right, guys. Once you open up the app, or actually before you even sign in now, you're going to notice something. You're going to see it says sign in using your email and password. All right, so you just enter in your email, your password. Now, a new feature is if you want to sign in without having to create a password, all you simply do is click right here and it will tell you you can sign in, password free login has been sent to your email address. So whatever email address you have for your deal driven account, that link will be sent to your email address, and that way you can log in without having to create one. Okay, that's a new feature. All right, guys. Now, once you open up the app, it's going to open up on the dashboard. Now, the dashboard has everything you need to get started using the app. So I'm going to go over a few items that will actually get you started on how to utilize the Deal Driven app. The first thing you're going to notice is you're going to see all these boxes right here. And the question of the day is, what do you want to do today? So on the Deal Driven app, you can actually see some of these highlighted boxes and tell you exactly what they are, such as the look up individual properties by GPS or address, search for property leads nationwide using search filters, also view and search my property list. These are lists that you create within the Deal Driven app. Search for cash buyers nationwide or locally. View my marketing campaign. So if you started a marketing campaign, you can always click here. View your account profile, watch help videos, and access premium content, as well as check your stats. It'll tell you how many lists you have created and the total amount of properties you have on those lists total, as well as an actual little box that shows the statuses. Okay, up here on the top, you're going to see these icons right here, like the little house. That really takes you back to the dashboard. Anytime you're doing something and you want to go back to the dashboard, just click on the house. The next one is going to show your property list. So if you're somewhere else and you want to quickly go to your property list and you're not on the dashboard, just simply click right here. And then we have the individual property search, which is used for driving for dollars or virtual driving for dollars, which I will go over. And then you have your search, lead building search. This is where you create lead lists, as well as your help. Right here, it'll pull up and you'll see the watch onboarding video, and then you'll be able to look at training videos, get a guided tour, and see descriptions of this feature. Also, another feature you want to look at is over here. Move your mouse or you touch over here with your finger on your mobile device. It's going to pull up this other panel. And over here, this goes through pretty much whatever is on the dashboard. There's a couple of things like the My Account. When you click on that, this has everything you need to know from your profile, my signatures, what you're going to need to fill out before you can do your first mailing campaign. So make sure you take care of that. Then you're going to have your payment method, manage offers, notifications, activity log. All these things are in this little panel right here, as well as feature requests. So if you have any suggestions, all you simply do is click on feature requests and we take a look at those. Okay. All right, let's get started in some of the key features that you're going to be using the Deal Driven app for. And we're going to start with look up individual properties by GPS or address. And what that simply is driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is out there driving around in your neighborhood, in your city, to look for properties that show signs of distress or vacant properties. While you're out there, you're going to be adding these properties to the Deal Driven app. You can also do a virtual search. Virtual search really is if you're looking in a neighborhood or a city or another zip code and you just want to take a look at the neighborhood to see if this is really where you want to search, you can do virtual searching as well. So when you're out there driving, once you get into the neighborhood or the zip code or the area of town that you're looking, what you want to do is click on look up the individual properties. It's going to pull up a map. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to go over here to the navigation. This little arrow right here, and you want to click on it. What that does is it actually locates where you are physically. Once the map opens and locates you, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and look around your area. Now, if you're out here, if you're doing this physically, you're already in front of all the properties that you're looking at. If you're doing it virtually, this is what you're going to see. Now, if you're out there physically and you open the map, these dots represent are different property statuses, okay? Different statuses on the map. It's going to let you know what types of properties are actually in this area that you're looking at. This legend down here is going to give you an idea of what's going on in this neighborhood. So while you're out there, whether you're physically driving or if you are actually doing virtual driving, what you want to do is you want to tap on the map where that property is located. Once it pulls up the property card, it's going to give you some information. It's going to give you the property address, the valuation, the equity, which is in dollars and percentages, total loans associated with this property, the last sale date of this property, and the type of property it is. Single family home, multifamily home, whatever it is, it's going to tell you. Now, just keep in mind that this information is public records. We pull this information from public records, and with public records, not all the information is always there. That's simply because it's still entered in by a human hand. So keep that in mind that the data that we pull is the most current data that we can possibly pull from the county records, which is a public record. All right. Now, if you're out there physically, you can actually do a couple of things. All right. You can pull comps. Okay. You can look at adding this to your list by simply clicking on add, and then you create a list, either add it to a new list or add it to an existing list. Once you do that, what happens is it goes to that list, whatever you put it to, and then the property card changes. Now, if you're physically out there, like I said, you can add a photo. You can take a picture with your phone or your mobile device and add it to this property card, or you can use Google. Either way, you can pull a Google Street View. If you are not there physically and you're out there looking, driving around, see what's going on, you can do what we call virtual. Now, the virtual search is really uh, Google Street View. So when you click on it, it's going to show you the Google Street View of the property right here. Okay. This one right here is a 4-bedroom house. It looked like it was for sale. We know that this thing was recently sold about a year or two ago. So this house, this picture will probably more likely is about 2 or 3 years old. So remember, we're getting these pictures from Google, and they only update these things every few years. So keep in mind, the purpose of the virtual is just to give you an idea of what's going on or what types of property are in that neighborhood. Okay. And from there, you can go looking around if you want to with the virtual search, or you can just stay here and go back to the map. When you go back to the map, you have this property. What you want to do is when you're out there physically driving for dollars, you want to add as many properties as possible to your deal driven app when you're doing your driving for dollars. Then once you create lists, you want to go ahead and skip trace those. And I will show you that later on in this video. All right, the next feature you want to be familiar with is the search for property leads nationwide using search filters. Basically, this is how you create lead lists. So once you click on this box right here, it's going to go open up the lead building feature. You're going to see a couple of things. First, it's going to say enter a street, city, or a zip code to center the map. This is the map right here. So whatever you're searching for, wherever you want to look to create some list, then you just enter in a street, city, or a zip code. So in this case, we're just going to enter in a city. What happens is that the map will actually center downtown Sacramento. Okay, so you can see downtown Sacramento. As I zoom out a little bit, you're going to see this 20-mile radius right here. Now, the search radius by default will be 20 miles. Now, you can adjust this to 1 mile all the way up to 50 miles. The default is 20. So, what the search is going to do is it's going to search within this 20-mile radius for the types of properties that you select. Also, if you want to be more specific where you're searching, Let's say there's a specific area in your town or city or even on the street or zip code that you want to look in. Well, what you simply want to do is you want to zoom into the map to that area, right? Move the map around. And let's say you want to know what is going on here. I'm going to do a search over here. Let me see or how many properties are going to fit my search criteria. So if you click on draw polygon, what that does is it enables you to draw on the map. So what you do is you just simply tap on the map. It starts to draw on your map. And then you can make this as wide as you want. So you can move this around. You can actually uh, make it this way, that way, however you want to. It's just up to you. So if you know the specific area, you can just leave it right there. And then when you're done drawing, you say done drawing. And what happens is it tells you how many properties are actually in this polygon. In this area, this shaded area, it's going to show you how many properties are found. Okay, so when you do the search radius or the draw the polygon, the next step you want to take, go to select search type. So you click on search type. As you can see, we have a variety of property statuses that you can search for. Now, we do have some predefined searches are already preloaded into the Deal Driven app, and all you simply have to do is click on them. So if you're looking for a tired landlord, single family or a multifamily one, you just click on tired, and it's going to tell you how many properties are in that that box you drew or the area that you're searching, and it's going to give you the search criteria right here. Okay, these are the predefined ones that you could actually utilize, so you don't have to go to the filters. Okay, but if you want to actually do it yourself, what you want to do is you can actually pick the ones that you want just using these search criteria right here. Let's say I want to look for pre-foreclosures. If I click on it, it's going to tell me I have 3 pre-foreclosures in my search area. Then you want to unclick that. You want to go back. Maybe you want to look for non-owner occupied. You click on it, it's going to tell you there's 1,100 of those in that search area that I chose. Oh, that's great. The best thing about this is we can stack these. So I can leave it at non-owner occupied. Let's see if they're out-of-state owners there. And then what if I want to see if they're vacant? I can click on vacant. Right now, it's telling me that vacant or out-of-state owner, non-owner occupied properties in that search area, there's 1,163 of those. Now, if I want to see if each property fits each one of these categories, then I simply click all. And only 2 properties out of all of those fit all 3 of these statuses. So sometimes that's a good way to narrow down your list. But most of the time, properties are not going to fit all 3. They may fit 1 or 2, but not all of the categories. So what you want to do is go back to any. You got 1,163 properties. Great. Now you can go to additional filters. So when you click on additional filters, this is where you can really fine tune your search. Okay. So when you do the drop down menu on property type, you have a lot of property types to choose from. You have single family residence, townhomes, duplexes, condos, quadplex, apartments, row houses, and residential vacant land. So you can actually narrow this down. So if I clicked on single family, it's going to tell me 779. Okay. If I go to duplex, there's 208. So you can actually choose the ones that you're looking for. I'm going to stick with duplexes on this one just to see. Now, another filter is equity, right? Now, the general rule of thumb is you want to get the properties to have as much equity in them, but at least a minimum of 35. So I'll put down 35%, and leave at most. So when I do that, it drops it down to 103 properties. Great. Now the valuation is strictly up to you. You can say, I want to look for properties at $50,000 to $200,000 or $50,000 to whatever. So you can fill that out if you so desire. The last sale date, that will show up on the property card, but if you want to, you can go ahead and put in the last sale date for this. All right, the bedrooms and bathrooms, you can choose those. Notice of default. Notice of default is in reference to pre-foreclosures. If you want to know when the notice of default was actually put into place, you can go ahead and click on this and find out when the notice of default was. The next thing is auction date, which is tied into the pre-foreclosure, so you don't really have to worry about that. And then if you know owners' names or the last transaction type, The last transaction type simply goes through, what type of deed was this? This is a deed of trust, grant deed, quitclaim deed, trustee's deed, loan mod, all these right here you can choose from. Okay, there's a lot of them. Once that's done, you just simply say show results. When you click on show results, what it's going to do is going to open up the map, and the area that you marked for searching will show up. Now, on the Deal Driven app, it's going to show you first 20. And when you click the next page down here, it's going to show you the next 20 in relationship to where it is on the map. So as you look and see the little square that we drew right here that I put up, all these properties, all 103, are located in this area. So if I go to the next page, it's going to push me out and show me exactly where those properties are located. And it's going to tell me, they're duplexes. Some of them are non-owner occupied. Some of them are company owned. Some of them may be vacant, but we won't know until we start looking through the list. You can choose to add a list of all 103 properties, or you can simply pick and choose. So maybe you just want to focus right here. Then all you simply do is just click on the property, and you can check mark it right here, and you can see it's selected. So you can go through all of these. If you just want to go through all the company owned ones, which are in the green, you can just make a company owned list. Or if you just want to go through the ones that are not company owned, you just pick the ones that are in blue, right? And you can add them, and you can choose the ones you want. See? In this case, we're just going to go ahead and create a total list of 103 duplexes. So all you simply do is click on records. It's going to select all 103 properties, and then you're going to click on add to list. Now, if you haven't created a list, just make a new one. But if you have an existing list, you can put these properties there. In this case, we're just going to make a new list, and I'll save it. Now, once it's saved, it's going to tell me properties are being added to your list, the name of the list, refresh the list after a few minutes, or I can go to the list. So if I go to the list, it's going to appear in the Deal Driven app, and here we go. These are all those duplexes right here, all 103 of them. At this point, you can go ahead and skip trace these. You can start your direct mail campaign, which I'll show you later on this video. Another feature you need to be familiar with is searching for cash buyers. Now you can actually click on this box and you can search for cash buyers nationwide or locally. Once you open up the cash buyer search feature, this is what you're going to see. Once the cash buyer search feature is opened up, what you want to do is you want to enter in search location. Enter a street, city, or a zip code to center the map. And as you can see, just like the lead building feature, there's a map right here. It centers you downtown Charlotte, North Carolina with a 5-mile radius, and it's going to do a search for cash buyers or people who've purchased properties for cash. Once the search is initiated, you'll start to see a cash buyers list start to populate to your right. You can scroll down, you can see all these. So, what if you want to just pick cash buyers who purchase single family homes? Or maybe you're just looking for persons who buy multifamily homes. Well, if you go down to choose filters and you click on it, you're going to have the opportunity to do the drop down menu and choose single family cash buyers or multifamily cash buyers. Another way to filter this down even more is to find out how much cash they invested. So you're looking for somebody who invests at least $100,000 to maybe, and it did reduce it, but it's still over 100 people. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and find somebody who's done a ton of them, because by default it's going to be 2 properties. So let's say we're looking for people who've purchased 5 and at the most maybe 15, and it dropped it down to 88 cash buyers. So this is how you can create a cash buyers list utilizing the Deal Driven app. Now, once you create your list, whether it be from driving for dollars or the lead building search, you want to be able to skip trace these. And you want to be able to get in contact with the property owners. How are you going to do that? Well, with the Deal Driven app, you can actually do skip tracing and direct mail. So, what you want to do is you want to take your list and you click right here. And what happens is you're going to see over here on the top, skip trace, start direct mail campaign. Now, when you're doing your skip tracing, you simply click on it and it's going to tell you exactly how many properties are in this list that you want to skip trace, how many credits it will consume, how many you have available. Okay, so you can actually choose yes and skip trace the whole list, or you can do maybe 1 or 2. by doing individual skip traces. So you click right here, here, and here, and you'll see you selected 3. So you can do skip trace from here, or if you click right here, you can do it right here. And then we have another instant skip trace, which is the deep skip trace, which searches for phone, email, and social media. So we got the 2 types of skip traces. So if I click on skip trace, it's going to tell me the number of properties, the amount of credits I have available, and how many at most it will take. For every 3 properties, it equals 1 credit. So it's a third of a credit per property. Once I click on yes, it's going to take a few seconds and it's going to return back some information. It's going to say 3 skip traces completed. In this instance, it turns green and you'll see I have phone numbers on all of these. So simply just click the drop down menu, and from there I can make call to the mobile phone, a landline, or I can text. You can do all this within the app. And then if I want to start direct mail campaign, I can select the whole list or I can do individual properties. I can choose. In this case, we're going to do these 3. So I simply click on start direct mail. Our template's going to come up. You can scroll through to see which one you want. You go ahead and click on it. It's going to turn green. And then I'm going to say start mailer. It's going to tell me how many properties I'm starting the direct mail for and how many credits it will consume. And at that point, I'll say yes. Campaign set for 3 properties and none of them were skipped. I'll say okay. When this turns yellow, it means it's pending. Once it's completed, it'll turn green. That's how you do direct mail and skip tracing. Simple, simple, simple. So guys, I hope this video helps you get started using the Deal Driven app.